So, and with that said, we will move on to the public agenda, of which we have no scheduled items. So at this time, if there is any individual present, and by present I mean can hear me speaking on this Zoom call, that did not request to speak on the public agenda prior to the meeting, this would be your time to get our attention and speak up. If you have something you'd like to talk about, go ahead and wave your hand at the screen and say hello, and let's hear it from you. And
hey, Michael, Tristan Block here again.
Mr. Block, how are you this fine new year?
I'm doing well. Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year to you. What can we do for you?
Thank you. Hey, I seem to miss Fire's report. I didn't know if there's any sort of update or if they just gave numbers. Apparently I had the wrong login information for the Zoom meeting, but found it last minute. So I just didn't know if they gave any different numbers, and also kind of wanted to hear anybody's feedback on Chief Snow presentation from last month. And if any of the DAB advisory board members had any thoughts on it or response to that, or kind of where people stood.
We did get the kind of standard fire report there, Tristan, just on the numbers, and talk through some of the upticks and activity with regards specifically to your Chief Snow's presentation from last month or whatnot. It did not come up at all, but if any of the DAB wanted to speak up at this time or whatnot, feel free, everybody, to chime in if you have some feedback from Tristan, for Tristan, I should say. Don't all jump at once. For me personally, it's something, it obviously got covered in depth. I feel good that at least we've all got eyes on it. I think the councilman has eyes on it, the chief, and those folks know we're watching. And we certainly know it's a passion of yours. And I guess we would kind of defer it a bit back to you to kind of, keep your eyes on things. And if things aren't tracking the way you believe they should or whatnot, then clearly you can bring that back to the board's attention and, through the channels that you already have established, and just keep after it. I don't think anybody thinks it's unimportant, but we definitely brought it to attention. We get the report back, and I think something we should all kind of keep an eye on as we trudge through the first couple quarters this year and see what's up.
Okay, sure. I appreciate that, and thank you for that feedback. And yeah, I am continuing to watch this pretty closely, and we'll keep bringing it to both the public and the board's attention, and we'll just keep pressing forward.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. You've got a few of us sitting here that are, within the service area that you're keeping an eye on. So we're clearly concerned. And again, if you see something tracking not the way it should be, then by all means, let us know.
Okay,
and Tristan, I'm certainly watching it as well. I've seen the uptick in fires. It does not seem like it has been the subject area we've been discussing, but I'm sure there's backfill coming from that area. And, we've already talked about it. It's a large geographical area to cover. So we'll continue watching it. Reach out to me anytime. We'll continue to discuss it. And
all right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks,
appreciate
Tristan.
the time. Thanks.
Thanks, Tristan. Any other items to bring up from the public? Anyone else? Okay. And before we move on to new business, it would be, I guess, proper of me to recognize our county commissioner lurking there, at least off video. I see Dalton's name on there. So thanks for participating, Commissioner Glasscock. I saw you get off mute there for a second. Did you want to say anything?
Oh, I guess I had to unmute two things. I look forward to being back with you all next month. If there's anything this last week, let me know. My last day is on Sunday at noon. But the county will be in good hands. I've had multiple opportunities to talk to Commissioner-elect Lopez, and I'm looking forward to returning back to the private sector and seeing you guys all soon.
Well, thank you, Commissioner, for your service in that capacity during this time. And if anybody thinks of any stuff that we can ram through on that agenda prior to Sunday, be sure to let the Commissioner know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Probably has to do with some unincorporated properties within the city, but that's we're not going to get that done in a week. So.
Well, we all know
Anyway.
those things in government don't happen in 40 days. So.
No, exactly. Exactly. I'm surprised they managed to get your name on there in 40 days. All right. Well, thank you, Commissioner. We look forward to having you back next month. And at this time, then we will move on to new business on the agenda. It looks like we have a couple of zoning cases, and it looks like I see Kathy stalking us over here. Kathy, are you on for both of those tonight?
Yes, I am.
Very good. Well, I will hand it over to you then.
Okay, so the first case is for a conditional use for a daycare center, which would be operating out of an existing church, the Redeemed Christian Church of God, there at the corner of, oh, my map is so small. At Merton, I'm sorry, and South St. Clair. Is that right? No, Sedgwick. I'm sorry. I can't, these words are too small for me to read. And so this is not uncommon for churches to have daycare centers located in their buildings. This one happens to want a capacity of up to 14 children. They would have 2 employees. The children would be dropped off and picked up by parents, so the church would not be providing any kind of vehicles for transportation for the children enrolled in daycare. You have a site plan attached to your staff report, according to the zoning regulations. They only need 3 parking spaces, and the site plan shows that there are 20 spaces on site. If you look at the site plan, it shows the traffic flow through coming in at the north end of the parking lot, and then around the over by the building, and then out of the south entrance. So it's a loop. Cars aren't doubling back. Let's see what else here. The recommendation is that the requirements of the use requirements that are mentioned on the second page of your staff report, section D or section 3D 6I, with, they have to comply with daycare center regulations, the applicable state regulations, parking and loading, outdoor play in the residential areas can only be between the hours of 7:30 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. That's just pretty standard. So staff is recommending approval. It does conform with the plans and policies that we have in place with the comprehensive plan, the infill places for people plan. And so we believe this would be a good use for, or an appropriate use at this location is to provide a daycare facility. And I will answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions from the board on this one?
this is Rebecca Robertson. What ages is the daycare taking care of? Do you know? Is it all ages or?
I don't have that information, but I would think that they would be, maybe 3 to 12. That's generally what these types of facilities handle, are 3-year-olds up to 12-year-olds. If you need that information, I can certainly find out and get back to you through Rebecca.
I'm guessing that, when they have to comply with all the daycare rules, the ratios and all of that is supervised by the licensing of the daycare.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, I would believe so. They only have 2 employees, or they will only have 2 people there operating the daycare. So yes, they should have to meet those state requirements, or would have to.
Okay.
Other questions from the board? If not, I'll send it out to the public if we have any public on for comment. And with no comments from the public, then I will bring it back to the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
We have a motion to approve from Becky
And I will second it.
and a second from June. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
say no. Okay, motion carries for approval on that one. Next item on the agenda, please.
Yes, this is a planned unit development for the Riverfront Village PUD, and it is located just south of West Douglas, between the Baptist church there and the new ballpark stadium, the new ballpark development. And you have I want to point out that you have in your staff report the proposed language of the planned unit development, the general provisions. So if you would look at that provision number 1, because we had some issues with platting and having dedicated street right of way, that number has changed. I believe you have the staff report that says 6.94 acres, and that should be 7.13 acres or 310,461 square feet, more or less. And then parcel 1 gross area should be 6.44 acres or 280,461 square feet. And just as a reminder, a planned unit development is its own zoning district, and it allows the latitude to incorporate multiple activities that could be of a mixed use type, allowing residential, commercial, entertainment mix, which would generally require, conditional uses, maybe zoning changes, that type of thing. And so this planned unit development is going to have a wide, it's going to be residential, potentially hotel, retail spaces on the first floor. If you look at the land use development standards, you will please note that 3B says that the following uses be allowed by right within parcels 1 and 2, and that's heliport, tattooing, and body piercing facilities in the city, and that the next one, C, exempt, that it shall be exempt from supplementary use regulations in Article 3D6W. That has to do with what's required to have drinking establishments and entertainment centers within 300 feet of residential or churches, that type of thing. So it would be exempt from that. There are architectural controls in this, lighting. They will have landscaping requirements. The architectural controls, they've done a very good job of using the Ballpark Village PUD to keep the architectural materials, et cetera, in keeping with what is within that Ballpark Village PUD, as well as the landscaping requirement. They are using the Central Business District as kind of the base zoning that they're taking off from. So you will notice that in parcel 1 and parcel 2, the maximum height of the buildings are as per the Central Business District, which means that there is no height limitation to the buildings on those 2 parcels. Let's see. The parking is basically Central Business District parking, where you don't, businesses do not have to provide their own on-site parking per the parking standards. Let's see. They have access control throughout the PUD, so that, which means that there's a traffic flow pattern within the PUD, pedestrian walk system, and then there will be specific access points to McLean Boulevard, and then over to, there's a new street, or rather Texas is going to come through this development. And so access to Texas, and then access onto Sycamore, I believe. And they are in the process of getting the plat finalized for this PUD, or for this project. And so I will try to answer any questions, but staff is recommending approval of this project with the according to what the general development guidelines are, and the drawing that was submitted with the application. And I believe that Brian Lindeback or someone from MKEC is probably on the line too. So I'll answer any questions.
I have one. Is the entire church to be demolished, or will part of it remain?
According to the PUD, there is a significant portion of the church that is remaining.
Okay, I wasn't sure about the plans for that. I'd heard both ways.
Right.
So, okay, good.
Kathy, has there been any protest?
No, we have had no phone calls about this.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions from the board? And I'm not sure if we have anybody from the public on, but I'll ask if there's anybody there that would like to comment on this. And with no questions from the public or from the board, I'll bring it back to the board for a motion, please.
I'll make that motion, Alex.
We have a motion for, is that approval, Alex?
Correct.
Okay, motion to approve from Alex. Do I have a
Mr.
second?
Chair, Jonathan McCroy seconds.
And a second from Mr. McCroy, Mr. McRoy. Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 And opposed, same sign. And motion to approve passes. You just have those two on tonight, Kathy?
That's all I have.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. And
Yes,
have a
thank
great-
you very much. You all have a great new year.
You do the same. See you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, at this time, we're on to the board agenda. And by board, it would be B-O-A-R-D, not B-O-R-E-D, folks. Come on, come on. But I'll be here all night.
Lighten things up.
All right. So, Councilman, would you like to address this at this time, or do you want anybody else to go first, or? Are you around? Did you have to go put the kids to bed? All right, I think Jeff might have stepped offline briefly. He's probably chasing the kids around or something. Does anybody from the board have it? Oh, here he comes. He was going to get food. That's what I was doing too when I was offline. I was stuffing pizza down my face. Jeff, did you want to say anything, or do you want us to talk about something else? You're on mute, buddy.
Sorry about that. I'm just getting a
No,
peanut. Hey,
worry.
yeah, I just wanted to, we're into the new year. I hope it's different than 2020, but I'm trying to be reasonable. I already see that they're going to cancel the Delano St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh, gee.
So it makes me wonder how realistic it's going to be to have a Riverfest or anything else. Some of the talk that I have heard said that it's probably, the earliest to where we can see some kind of normalcy again is probably going to be summer. So we'll just see how that plays out, just continuing doing what we're doing and moving the city forward. So that's about all I've got right now.
Okay. Any other comments from the board? What's going on in your area? Activities, events, concerns in your neighborhoods or whatnot? Alex, good to have you back. I understand you had a little surgery going on or whatnot. You were, playing soccer or something in Torrid, or what was going on?
And no, just getting old, parts start wearing out.
Yeah.
So starting to get a little better now.
I think I look at everybody smiling and nodding, except for that young guy, McCroy, down there. He's like, what are you talking about?
He'll learn one day.
Yeah, and Dalton's smiling. Holy smokes.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
all my broken is on the inside. You just can't see it.
Oh.
But we don't have anybody at home with the plague, so that's a good thing.
That is all a good thing.
Our team is here.
That is good for
Yeah.
sure. I guess one thing I'll bring up, I read a report, I think I read a Facebook post or something yesterday, a report of potentially a homeless person living out on the Prairie Sunset Trail between 119th and 135th.
Really?
I guess I'll bring that up for perhaps Becky's attention. I probably should have brought it up when our police friends were on here, but anyway, I'm not, I live close by there. I'm not terribly concerned about it. And there's a couple posts on there where folks weren't terribly concerned about it, but just making folks aware. And certainly I guess I wanted to use the opportunity to make our friends in PD aware if there was somebody potentially living out in the woods on the north side of the trail there. So if any of you happen to use that stretch over there, I guess I don't, again, it could be totally fine, but just be aware there could be.
Michael,
Uh-huh.
did they say, that's a long trail. Did they say,
Between 119th and 135th on the north side.
okay, thank you.
Look, I'd look towards the Trestle Bridge where the woods are and whatnot. That's about a third of the way in from 119th.
Okay, yeah, and yeah, someone messaged me a while ago and there is quite the homeless setup in front of the old Best Buy on West Kellogg, so.
Wow, worse than the pile of tires out in front of Kmart.
I'll be reporting that.
Oh, yeah, it's a pickup with flat tires and a topper on it and then a trailer behind it.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about. Yeah, there's never anybody there, but they've got both vehicles crammed, totally full.
Maybe that was who was stalking your neighborhood there, June.
Just about. Yeah.
Not to make light, but
If I may, I was going to tell June, we, in my neighborhood, Benjamin Hills, the same thing is going on. And one of them is a white pickup truck. Didn't you say that there was a white pickup truck?
There was a white van that was opening
yeah, okay.
mailboxes, and
Okay.
I don't recall what it was today. It was white something. I just glanced at it when I was checking email earlier. So, yeah, it may be the same people just working from one side of the West Wichita to the other. Who knows? And people that have a tendency to leave mail in their mailboxes overnight are kind of inviting it, but still,
It's still illegal, right?
still illegal. Right. Right.
any other comments on what's going on in your neighborhood? Construction updates, New Year's resolutions, anything like that? We had a short meeting tonight, so we just figured I'd catch up with everybody a bit. But Rebecca, you still got Notre Dame in the background. We want a new one next month. Okay, you need to go somewhere different. Like the pyramids in the background or something. Okay. All right, folks. Well, I have entertained you with my nonstop rambling long enough. So if no one has anything else that they'd like to contribute to this month's meeting, as far as things we ought to be keeping an eye on doing or whatnot as we plow forward, I will leave you with just everybody. Let's have a great new year and be optimistic and positive and keep everything moving forward. And I feel good about what's going on around here. So I hope you do too. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Rebecca, first to adjourn. We have a second.
I'll make that.
And Alex says he's done with a second. So all those in favor of getting out of here and enjoying our evening, say aye.
Aye.
And I'm going to assume nobody is opposed to that. So you all have a fantastic evening, and we will see you in a month.
Righty.
Good night, folks. Thanks for participating. And be sure to read those minutes the next month. I might ask a question again worth 1,000 points.
There will be a test, right?
Exactly.
Happy New Year's to everybody and hope you guys have a better 2021.
Happy New Year, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.